Hey guys, what is going on? It's Simon here from Get Into Crypto. Welcome back to another stream, and today we're going to be taking a look at the price of Bitcoin as we approach the weekly close. So Bitcoin's still looking really strong over the last couple of days. Obviously, we've come up, we've tagged our all-time high from 2017, and I was expecting maybe from the last week for us to get a bit more of a pullback after obviously the Tom DeMark 9 candle at what you would expect to be pretty significant resistance around the 20k mark, but no, we're still holding strong. We're still looking quite good as where we are, and I think as long as we, I've kind of said this in the last video, as long as we remain above this purple 20-week MA and also the 21-week EMA, which is in the orange. I've added this because we can see this EMA forecast. Then Bitcoin for me is bullish, and it's just going to be a case of buy the dip. Obviously not financial advice, but that's what I'm more or less looking to do myself. And I just really wanted to look quickly at the significance of the 20-week MA, which is obviously this bolder sort of purple line, and how it's been resistance in our bear markets. It's then been held as support in our bull markets. As soon as we close below this on a weekly, it then flips again to resistance, and breaking above this on a weekly, it then flips to support. Obviously, we had this sort of almost mini bull market and then mini bear market. But really, since the liquidity crisis in March, since we've been able to flip this back as support, we really haven't looked back. And obviously, Bitcoin had its first proper retest of this 20-week MA back in September time, and Bitcoin passed the test. It held it. So I think really what I'm looking at now is really to see Bitcoin consolidate, and for any pullback to obviously hold these MAs. And obviously, if we looked at the last time we had a proper sort of pullback into the MAs, we can see it happened about sort of 4 or 5 bars after the high. The move was around about sort of the 20% move, and obviously if we saw sort of like a similar 20% move, then we would kind of come in, say over about 4 weeks, we could come in and then start to hold these moving averages as support. So that for me, I think is quite a plausible outcome. But of course, we need to be mindful that that is really, we're saying that is a immediate sort of bearish outlook. Obviously, there's a bullish outlook that would take us above 20,000, and then we would be looking for some sort of retest of 20,000 to hold, to then say, right, we're off to much higher prices. And of course, the other alternative is that Bitcoin then now starts to trade sideways, and we start to kind of sort of consolidate, which would be very bullish for the Bitcoin price. Maybe we'd see a bit of a sort of bull flag starting to play out, and then saying a sort of month or two's time, we might actually get a retest again of 20,000 and be able to sort of pass through it. So yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on Bitcoin right now. If we look at the sort of futures chart, we'll see we've still got this kind of great big open gap. So I'm kind of almost leaning towards a bit of a gap fill that would be about sort of 12% from where we currently are on the futures price. So could be that we come down here and then come down a little bit further to obviously coincide with the weekly MAs. Obviously, we've got the weekly MA sort of down on the futures chart as well. Bitcoin dominance, we've said that we're ranging within this channel. I've put a bit of a line in the sand here on the Bitcoin dominance chart, and I think really if we see a close below this line, then I would expect to see an acceleration to the downside. Of course, Bitcoin dominance may consolidate and start to pull up. I think if we continue to see sort of high volatility within Bitcoin, i.e. a break of 20,000 very soon, or a sort of retest very quickly straight back down to the 20-week MA on the Bitcoin chart, then it could be that Bitcoin dominance starts to push back up and retest this top of the channel here. But really we're at crossroads here. I honestly, I think this chart is completely neutral, and it really could go either way. And personally, I've said before that we're almost looking for Ethereum, Bitcoin to kind of show us the way when it comes to these altcoins and the Bitcoin dominance, because of obviously the inverse correlation. All I will say is that seasonally, Ethereum does tend to do better against Bitcoin in the early part of each year. So we saw like start of 2018 or even end of 2017, we saw huge rally throughout January. We saw something similar kind of in December of last year, kind of into January. And then at the start of this year, we really saw Ethereum have a great sort of January against Bitcoin. So like I say, we've just come into December. Are we actually going to be able to, extend this and push a bit higher? And I think personally, I think we could come up to this 382 fib. I think we could start to sort of back test this sort of key level from back in 2018. That's my current thoughts on Ethereum. And just in terms of a dollar chart, that sort of around about 70% move would coincide with a move up into the up towards the 1,000 level in Ethereum. So yeah, we've obviously got a little bit of headwind from this Tom DeMark 9, but I think Ethereum is looking fairly good. And just looking down, some of the altcoins pretty mixed on the day. We've got Link that is looking okay against the dollar. Having said that, we have seen these sort of big wicks starting to come in, so a bit of distribution here in Link. And obviously for anybody involved in a Link trade, we'd be looking to hold these sort of weekly MAs. This 20-week MA is really crucial. You can see that we have wick below it, but we have been able to hold it on a weekly close. So as long as we continue to do that, I do think Link, the momentums with the bulls and Link, in my opinion, will most likely result to the upside and try and come back up and challenge the $20 level at some point. Link definitely not looking too healthy against Bitcoin. So personally, I'm looking at this thinking we could come down and sort of flush these lows and just then retest our highs from the start of the year back in March. Just looking through at a few more. XRP, what can we say? Doing very, very well. I think part of this is potentially front running the Flare airdrop. So I know a friend who's quite a large XRP holder who says he's kind of waiting a few more days to look to start to get out some of his XRP position when this airdrop sort of comes through, when that gets released. He's looking forward to that. But yeah, it's I mean, XRP is a very difficult sort of market to really guess what's going on. I mean, all we know is when it does move, it does tend to move vertical. So yeah, it's something I hold a little bit of. I took a little bit out throughout this move. I scaled out a bit around sort of 50 cents, 60 cents, 70, and right now I'm just, it's more of a wait and see. Of course, if we do come all the way back down, then I would be looking for a retest of probably in the low 30s to then look to take a long. But at the moment, that looks a very, very sort of long way away, especially with us looking relatively constructive above 60 cents. So, and obviously Ethereum doing well against, XRP doing well against BTC as well. What else we got here? Yeah, another coin I quite like is Propolis. So looks to me like it's constructive that we've got above the 20-day MAs, and on a weekly, we kind of saw this TD9 come in, and since then the downside has started to ease up quite a lot, and we're starting to now look like we're breaking out higher. We probably need some confirmation of that next week. So I think next week is going to be a very big week for crypto. I mean that's not a very good looking wick on the daily, but you know, we have taken out this local high on the daily. So let's see if we can actually sort of push above this over the next week, and that would be bullish for acro. But yeah, going forward, I'd like to, just going back over to Bitcoin, going forward, I would like to start to do more in-depth analysis on altcoins. So coming up, obviously still doing the Bitcoin updates, but then starting to go through some of my altcoin picks and coins I expect to do really well over the next year and outperform Bitcoin. Of course, the argument is if you're investing in altcoins, then you always want to be sort of doing better than Bitcoin. So that's why I obviously look at the dollar charts, but also look at the Satoshi charts, because you know, you want to be stacking sats. You know, if you can't outperform Bitcoin by buying and selling altcoins, then you know you're best off sticking to Bitcoin type of thing. So yeah, but I think for me, it's all about, you know, keeping that exposure there within the space. You know, sort of shifting between altcoins and Bitcoin, depending on where the opportunity is and where the momentum is when it comes to the Bitcoin dominance, and looking at the major pairs like Ethereum. So obviously going forward, I'll keep you updated. I'll be sharing my thoughts on Bitcoin and also the altcoins, and where I believe, you know, the opportunity is. There'll be more altcoin related content, and yeah, we'll keep you informed the best we can. So I'm going to wrap it up there. Thanks for watching, and see you on the next one.